So, a couple days ago, we've had
Warp drive
the
active.
Ask Me Anything event, and honestly, for the most part, it's been pretty good. The responses have been decent and surprisingly detailed. And I was waiting for the official post to be added so that I could check it out and so I could, talk about things that I've seen here. So, let's check out the first thing here. When will Titans be added to the a little side note about Titans? I think most of us already expect them around August or an anniversary. Last year should have been the date, but they have been cancelled last year or delayed. But let's see what they ask you. Titans Titan
Warp
has many
drive active.
special command functions that have not been completed yet, and it will not be launched before August. The final launch date has not been determined at the moment. So, what this kind of means? Not before August. This is kind of for it telling us anniversary. That's when the Titans will be released. So, from this point, we're looking at maybe down 5 months down the road. That's when they will be added. So, yeah, in
Warp
August.
drive active.
When can we expect advanced features that have been on the roadmap for a while, such as station coordinates, ship naming, ship reprocessing, and so on? This year's priority of these functions has been raised slightly due to evolving a lot of features and interfaces, requiring a large amount of testing and fixing. After the server stabilizes in the near future, we will consider continuing production. Now, what happened with the ship containers and stuff in the rename function? Well, basically, there was a bug, a critical bug, where if you were to replace the name of your ship, the ship would disappear, or the ship would be completely inaccessible and things like that. That's the reason why it's been delayed. Can you imagine that renaming a X-type
Warp
ship and
drive
it just
active.
disappears? Yeah, that's the reason why the the naming stuff is not being added yet. Which is kind of funny because you would think a simpler naming function would not be bringing that many bugs. Well, apparently it does, which is kind of funny. Faction wargames have been little used for years. What plans do you have to make it more accessible and fun? We will release new faction wargames that are suitable for more players. There will not be a significant adjustment to the existing gameplay mechanics. Okay. Will there be any adjustment to help stabilize Plex pricing, or possibly reduce Plex pricing as more capital ships are used? We will gradually optimize insurance and the store in-game, and appropriately increase the sale volume of Plex. At the same time, we will further reduce the quantity of items that can be purchased in large quantities with Plex, so that it could be used more for purchasing Omega. Okay, well, this kind of that last thing made sense. Very curious to see how will they actually reduce. How will they do that? It's something that it's left to be seen. Next, so the game was the most balanced before implants, and then of course, now the DPS to defense ratio
Undocking.
are too off-balanced. What are your plans to fix this? We plan to introduce a new gameplay focused on defensive abilities and custom features in this year. So this is something that we're doing for the whole of 2024 at the moment. Their focus is to improve the defenses of ships, right? How will they do that? Well, I would say they will be adding new modules, and a good chance that they will also increase the overall hit points of all ships a couple times this year. I think it already happened once. So I think
Warp drive
they
active.
will be adding more overall raw hit points, maybe increase the resistance a little bit, maybe adding modules or buffing current modules with more resistance. We will see. That's a very interesting topic that I'm very interested about. I have one navy left that I haven't sold. Maybe that ship will be completely broken when once they increase the defenses of ships. Will we get wormholes to live in? Currently there are no plans about wormholes. First we will continue to optimize the gameplay similar to the Cobalt Edge. Now, there was I will cover some different questions that I also have seen, because the responses here are a bit different, and I will compare both of them. In the other responses I think it was more accurate. We'll come to that. Will there be any balancing to improve laser weapons? Currently there are no plans to adjust laser weapons. We will adjust the other weapons that have poor combat performance. Will there be a mining update in the future? I have seen little hints about ice mining, and as a Rorqual pilot would look forward to a little more diversification of resources and less PI material. Recently there will be no more ice mining updates. We plan to introduce more new ways to obtain PI. Additionally, with version updates and technological advancements, we will adjust some of the optimization worthy content in old blueprints. Okay, and the last one. The dear developers, there are a lot of bots in the game. It affects the economy. Please take a note. Will this be fixed in the future? There are indeed a few bots that can monitoring people. Monitor people entering and exiting the system, and we plan to adjust the mechanism related to stealth and local personnel list. Farm bots are already scarce. If you find them, please report them. Customer service personnel will find or ban them. How will you make this game attractive to new players if the tier system you currently have locks all useful ships behind tier 10, which is over half of Year of Omega? We will gradually remove the tech restrictions on regular warships and optimize the growth and reward mechanism for new players. Now this is a good thing actually. Removing the tech system, why not? Definitely something I'm looking forward to see how will they do that actually. That's a thing that has been on my mind. Maybe completely remove it. Maybe they can actually pull that off. We will see. But definitely a very nice little thing there. We will get exploration and conquered past missions. There are currently no plans, but we will consider the feasibility of such suggestion. Great to see you have prioritized economy balance in your recent updates. What other economy healing improvements do you consider for this year? There will be a lot. It's quite complicated, such as insurance updates, market and tax adjustment, logistic function expansion, delivering restriction credit points store for beginners. Okay, that's interesting. Now, I talked about having
warp drive
other questions here, and let's go right here. Question 1: can you expect to see wormholes make an appearance in Ivecos, and if so, would they come with similar mechanism that's seen in EVO 9, i.e. classes, restricted mass, rolling too close, okay? Tier 10 ores, blood, wandering static, and the ability to anchor. Wormholes are very popular in EVO 9, and I personally think this would be very beneficial to the game. Response: restricted mass, rolling too close. This mechanism is a bug, and when aimed by tools, it makes wormholes act like a closed high sec. We still have not solved this problem, so we will not release wormholes in the short term. Instead, we will prioritize adjusting the gameplay of Cobalt Edge, which has certain similarities with it. So basically, as you can see, this is basically the same question that we've seen before, but in this case, more detailed answer. So what they're saying here, they will make it, they are making it, but they run into some problems and they are currently fixing those problems. So yeah, this is something that is exciting, at least for me and probably for other players. Now the second question: can you expect to see ice mining in Ivecos? I think getting fuel for our structures from planetary interactions is too easy, and ice belts that wander in high sec, low and null would be a new addition to the game. Planets could still produce fuel, but at a much lower rate before a consideration to be phased out. And the answer: ice mining will not be launched soon. We plan to introduce more new ways to obtain planetary materials. In addition, with version updates and tech development, we will adjust some of the content in the early blueprints that deserve optimization, mainly PI and drone materials. So again, something that been a little bit expanded on what we have seen already. Question 3. Has there been any consideration to add Triglavian ships to Ivecos? These ships are stunning and abyssal space would bring a fresh change to the game. Answer, it's possible, but it's not a high priority. We will update most to the Yangyun and Concord ships first. After that, maybe sleepers or drones. There are too many new ships in our plan. So, basically, yes. This means that they do have Triglavians on their list, based on that last little response there. Very exciting, especially that they said the Yangyun ships will be done here, so yeah. Question 4. Can we get the ability to add a covert ops cloak to the Venture 4? Would help high-sec and low-sec venturing into danger space for harder to get ores. And so maybe an improvement version of the Venture based on Venture 4. Okay, so a new Venture probably coming up. Question 5. Titans. Can we expect these to make an appearance? And if so, do we have a rough timeline? And so Titan has too many. Yeah, this is basically this question is basically the same as we have seen before. So basically, yeah, there is no time date, but they will have to add keep stars before they do that and 40 stars. So yeah, when you see 40 stars and keep stars added, you know Titans are very close. Question 6. The beaver mod for the Orca is heavily overpriced. Has the porpoise been considered with similar model that may be cheaper? Answer, if we think the price of an item is cheap, after analysis we use two methods to change. Buff its attributes to make it worthwhile, adjust its blueprint requirements, but this is a long process. Palette assets need to maintain their value over a long period of time, unless the number of people affected is small enough for us to compensate them. Question 7. It would be possible for a low-sec corpse to anchor a corpse in low-sec or something similar. This way ores could be upgraded, say locked at tier 8 as well as satisfied, so people who don't want to live in null can still enjoy the game in their own way. And so maybe the Forger is suitable for this role, but we haven't determined that yet. It is equivalent to a advanced outpost and can dock capital ships without affecting the sovereignty of the system. Okay, that's actually interesting. Question 8. Ship hangars and fleet hangars on the Orca, Rorqual, Porpoise. Could these be introduced for fleet mining ops? Having to jetson can get messy and would put more strain on servers, and this is the only operation, otherwise one person would be a fleet. So we have no plans to make it so automated, at least that's the case for now. Question 9. Interdiction nullifier. Would this be considered for fitting to certain ships, haulers, so we can counter the gate camps more effectively? Answer, the interceptor frigate can already accomplish many tasks. Larger ships would make a lot of gameplay wordless. There will be some advanced industrial ships, cruisers. Okay, that's so advanced industrial ships who can avoid bubbles. That's interesting. Question 10. The tier system was great when the game launched, however, for new players it's hard to catch up. Are there any changes planned to this system? We will gradually remove the tech restrictions on conventional ships and optimize the growth and reward mechanism for new players. Yeah, again, this little question is, at least in my eyes, very interesting, because again, how will they just remove the limitations? I guess time will tell. I have an idea, but could also be problematic in some ways. We will see what will happen. Question 11. Almost a year ago, ship naming and station recorders were teased in an official blog post. When can we see a release? If it's the only game that theoretically supports tens of thousands of different boxes per person or names per person, these two functions have not been released because they involve countless systems and interfaces and have many functions and bugs. Question 12. Statistics are very important to the players of this game, however we still have no public API. Is this something which is on the roadmap for this year? Answer: too hardcore and too dependent on websites outside the game, not a high priority. If possible, we will enrich the various statistical data display UI in the... Okay, sorry for the weird cut. So where have we left off? Okay, question 13. An upgraded bombarding plan can one-shot battleships. Is this expected behavior and by design? Answer: when given a choice, almost everyone chooses attack power. So this year we will release a gameplay that focuses on defense and customization modules function. There will also be some bonuses with fixed strength. With the smaller the ship, the more the defense will be improved. This kind of does give an expanded answer on what we have already seen earlier, and honestly this is kind of interesting. So the smaller the ship, the better the defense. Okay, that is kind of exciting, and overall again very interested to see what they will do with the bombard. Question 14. Tier 3 cruisers by any chance? Answer: Tier 3 cruisers are available, but they may not be immune to warp interference. This has not yet been demonstrated. So yeah, Tier 3 cruisers will be added. Perfect. Question 15. It was stated in the past that while entities could sell ships in boxes, they wouldn't. However, as we've seen over the last year, we've received several new ships that you can buy for real life money out of these boxes. Why has Entity changed their mind on this and destroyed an already struggling area of the game that players like to be involved in, while also receiving significant community backlash to these boxes? Will Titans and Doomsday just come in a box again? Where is the response to that? I didn't see a response to that. Seems like it's missing. Oh well, next. Question 16. The addition of size restricted content such as Call Fans has been a great addition for people who enjoy non-capital content or dislike being grouped up on by higher tonnage ships. Are there more plans for this style of content in the future, similar to open world factional warfare or Dead Space complex found in the parent game EVE Online, which limit both the size and type of ship that can enter, so even low-tech level ship players can feel useful and rewarded within the game? Answer: a real faction wars first in low-sec LP stores and military ranks are suitable for all players are already being designed. This doesn't sound like a gadget. Okay, so 4 faction war games will be introduced. That's actually quite nice. Question 17. Lancer Dreadnoughts are the first ships that have a unique slot on the ship for a specific item, the Lancer super weapon. Now this kind of technology has been added to Echoes. Will this expand to existing ships? For example, covert ops ships having a unique high slot added for the clocking device, or on scanning ships for a scanner, and so on. Answer is yes, gradually. We will also change module slots. Now that's a big one. Maybe the utility high slots will make a return, and maybe Nosferatus and Neutralize will become a high slot module again. That's actually a very good question that does make me excited for the Balgorn or the Yashumo maybe. Or maybe, you know what, maybe this can theoretically lower the DPS output on all ships, since they might not be able to fit like 8 weapons in the high slots anymore. Interesting. Will mining nanocores ever get the ability to upgrade into gold nanocores even without library stats or AI available? The second main stat bonus is alone very strong for these ships. Answer is yes, already discussing when to update. The auto mining maybe in the future, but not recently. The current price of PA materials is much higher than ore, so it is not okay. Alright, next. Question 19. As a follow-up to question 17, will dedicated combat exploration ships be released or have more support for these players? Like currently, I use a Phantasm with CyberX core to unlock a 4th mid slot for a scanner to hunt down Dead Space sites to find this playstyle super fun. However, dedicated ships like tier 3 cruisers designed for this activity while being able to hack at the same time won't be able to enrich it for everyone who wants to play this style of gameplay. And so there are already enough big ships, and there will be a lot of additions to the gameplay content of small ships later this year. Question 20. Will there be an ability to relocate a tier 4 still in the system? Since you cannot downgrade this at the level, it makes it impossible to rotate it or place it in a different location within the system. And so possibly maybe several months. Gold course, possibly maybe several months too early than a relocated function. Okay. Question 21. Will we have character customization or accessories to make the character more unique? Possibilities to customize your avatar in-game. Answer is yes. First are medals. This has little impact on fun, so it's not a high priority. Okay, that's fair. Question number 22. Will we have character customization or accessories? Okay, my apologies, already seen that. Question number 22. Many ships in the market do not appear in the ship 3. When will they be added? And so we plan to decrease ships and maybe not need to show as many. That's going to be a very interesting thing, because they do plan to reduce the overall ship amount. Basically, make one Raven be the navy and just the striker. When they do launch that, I really wanna check that out and see how will they pull it off. Question number 23. Will there be a update to faction war games? Many people seem to have a really long waiting time. 20 to 30 minutes or longer required to get a match. There's also the rank needing to purchase the cool stuff and can't get it. Answer a minor update about old faction worms. So yeah, they will be updating it, I guess. Question number 24. Can we have something similar to reset skills built for resetting implant level from the implant to implant? Possibly we have not confirmed the release date yet. That's going to be useful. And the last two questions. Question number 26. What inspired the developer team of Ivecos to create specific gameplay mechanics or features unique to Ivecos, and how do they see these elements evolving in the future to enhance the player experience? Answer: I can't say what others do. I also have my own methods. One of them: play countless games, summarize the features, recommendations, and innovations. Conduct gameplay verification, proposal, dev, analyze actual data, propose improvement plan cycle. Evelyn is a game with 20 years, and there is a lot worth learning and discussing. Question number 27. Will there be a way to swap implant in space? Answer: swap implant in space, yes, with cooldown times and limits. So that would basically be it with all of the questions. Honestly, it does seem some very interesting changes down the road. But do tell me in the comments down below what you think about it. And well, with that being said, stay safe, fly safe, as always. I'll see you next time.